Welcoming into the studio, Lamar varsity quarterback, Big 8 player of the year, Case Tucker.
Hi, Wyatt. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on today. Congrats on the win last Saturday versus Liberty.
Thank you
Big
very
win.
much. Yep.
So, just talking about that game a little bit. You've never played Liberty through your career.
Mm-hmm.
And just what's it like playing them for the first time, man? There's been a lot of games in the past where we beat them every single time. And just going into that game, was tensions high, and what did it feel like, a Mount Vernon game or Nevada type game where you just going into it, you did not like them?
Yeah, for sure. So growing up, we went there a lot. It seemed like every year almost. So I went every year, and it was always real fun to go to the game, starting from the travel to the game itself. There's a lot of close ones there. And hearing from the whole team, because I was around them, because my brothers and everything. There's teams like Cassville, Mount Vernon, and of course back then we never played Nevada, but they always talked about playing those guys and then playing Mountain View Liberty, and there's just a different level of intensity because it's a must win. It's in the playoffs always. It's a school our size, so it's just different.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
It feels the same in a sense, but it's a little more intense.
So what was Jared's attitude like? Because he was a part of a lot of those games. He caught the winning touchdown in Lamar when we beat them that first year. Was he different? Was he more excited?
So practice was a lot more to the point. It was a business week,
He wasn't messing around that week.
No, not at all. And we knew that very well within the first 5 minutes of Monday practice against them, he came out there and was straight
fired
to
business. Up, ready to go.
He had the plan ready.
Okay. So what's been the mentality this year? Like, what's got you to this point? Has it just been, obviously I know no one works harder than Lamar, but have you guys had a goal, like something that you said every week, and just, just the word out there? Like,
so, at the beginning of the year, running the dam every Wednesday.
Yep.
It was our last Wednesday, I think, and Coach Beshore pulled out a paper, and he had either written down stuff he'd heard or asked people about what they thought. And the responses were just crazy because everyone was saying that we weren't the team we used to be.
Yeah.
You're not as big, you're not as fast, you're not as strong as
new
you used
coach.
to be. Yeah, new coach. It's a new identity, and really, everyone thought that we had no chance.
You're on your way to a state title. No, not trying to jinx anything.
Yeah.
But, we haven't gone to state in the last 2 years.
And, that's kind of a chip on our shoulder right now, because it's not that we've worked any harder this year. We've worked really hard, obviously. Yeah. But last year and the year before, we just couldn't get it done, and we know that's not our expectation, so we're trying to get back.
You've been on the team the last couple of years. And I know when I was playing, we felt like we had pressure to, because we've always made it to state.
Yep.
So was there more pressure then because we've always made it to state, or is there more pressure now knowing that we want to get back to state?
Definitely more pressure then. This year it's kind of more of a let's go out there and see what we can do.
Yeah.
Versus the past few years, it was going out there and we have to do
fail,
this.
Right?
Don't mess up. It was just it's kind of a weight off your shoulder in a sense now that we haven't won in a few years and we're getting back.
Gotcha. So, what's it been like COVID? Has this year been a lot different than last year?
Yeah, there's been some obstacles, Our team, I think, has adapted really well to it. We just follow all the guidelines given to us. For sure, it's been hard because in the summer, we just took it day by day. We never knew if we were going to get the next week, really.
What game was canceled?
Butler. It was Monette, and then Butler got canceled.
Looking at Butler, that might have been a good game.
For sure, because they made it to the quarterfinal and played St. Pius.
To a good game, it looked like.
Yeah, for sure, 6-14.
Yeah, I haven't watched that game on anything, so I don't know how it went, but just looking at the score, it looks like Butler might be for real. So
yeah, Butler was good, and that would have been a good test for us to see where we stand in Class 2. Because we didn't get to see many of the Class 2 schools.
And especially if you would have played, you could have sized up to see how St. Pius does.
Yeah, for sure.
So, going into these bigger games, are you, like these playoff games, are you more nervous or are you just more excited? What?
It's a
Mixture,
mixture of both. I'd have to say before Liberty, I was really nervous.
Yeah.
Probably the most nervous I've ever been
played
for a
them.
game. Yeah, never played them. The history between the programs was insane. So it had a not pressure, but a lot of nerves that were flowing through the whole locker
Yeah.
room. Really, everyone was really nervous.
Going throughout these playoffs games, I mean, I think we're probably the best team in the state in our class, but I feel like each one of these games we're gaining more confidence because like last game we had 2 drop punts and the game was still never close. I mean, the first half was close, but I felt like we handled it pretty well. I mean, it just feels like we're getting better still in the playoffs each week by week.
For sure, and we've really, ever since Matt County, it's been a week to week. I can't remember a week we've taken a step back since then. I think that was a wake-up call our whole team needed. And, yeah, that was just, ever since then we've got better every week, and coaches have been preaching to us. It's a November freight train right now. You know, it's who's next, who's getting derailed next, because
you guys on
we're
tracks.
rolling. We're on the tracks.
You ain't moving.
And we're not getting off of them.
Gotcha. Looking at other teams, you'll see a weird loss, like how'd they lose to them, and then you don't want to overthink that, and because we lost to Matt County. So do you ever look at a team schedule and be like, man, how'd they lose to that team? And
I'll be honest, I used to.
Until
until we lost to Matt County, nothing against Matt County because they're a good football team. They played a great game against us. But, the team we probably shouldn't have lost to.
For sure.
And again, they played really good game. But now looking at teams like Festus, they lost to Cuba.
Yeah.
And you're like, well,
by a good amount.
You can't
just look at that.
Yeah, you can't do that because, again, we
Yeah.
did it, and that
just sure enough.
Yeah.
So going into Matt County, was that a game that you guys just thought you were gonna win? And that's actually kind of a good thing. Losing that game, as a fan, and I've been on the team recently, knowing that that loss probably made us stronger.
Yeah, for sure. Again, even at halftime, I think we're up 41 to 26. I mean, maybe not that much, but definitely in the third quarter. I think it was 41-26 going into the fourth, and we kind of let off the gas pedal a little bit. And then I think it was literally 2 plays later on their offense. They had 2 70-yard touchdowns or something.
I mean, granted, you had some starters out, but still, we probably should have won that game. But just knowing that you can't take any games off,
For sure.
I mean, I think that probably built us up more than tore us down.
And you see people say, well, that's a pretty bad loss on a record. And then I come back and tell them, well, without that loss, we might not have beat Cassville.
Exactly.
We might not have beat Mount Vernon. Because it brought us together.
We beat Cassville pretty well. And Cassville destroyed Mount.
Yeah, and Cassville's making a run.
Exactly. And
Class 3 right now.
Yeah, and Cassville's going off right now, too. So that just shows how good we really are.
Yeah, that loss really helped us, I think.
So what's it like passing the ball this year? How do you prepare for that in practice? Do you guys do a drill every single day? Because I know in the past few years we did that passing drill before. But, are you doing even more passing drills than that?
So we are, yeah, and growing up in the dual quarterback system, I've never passed the ball ever. I mean, even until this year.
Even in middle school.
Yeah, I think I've passed the ball before this year a total of 1 time. That was to you last year on a halfback pass. So it wasn't even from the quarterback position. But mechanically, I'm not the best, obviously, because I've never done it. So there's a lot of learning that goes on along with it. And, some days I'll be great in practice.
Yeah.
Some days it will just, have you ever thrown a football before?
But
we work on that every single day.
So going into those games, does it matter how well you threw the ball in practice that week to, scheme up how many times we're going to pass the ball this game? Or is it just off feel and how they're playing the game?
Not really. Coach Bishore tells me, he's like, here's the deal. If they come out in this look, we're going to pass the football and you're going to get it to him because that's what we need to do because that'll open up a whole bunch of other run plays and that's what we want to do.
So this last game, when you threw that touchdown, did you check out of that?
So it was a team check kind of
If they did this,
if our O-line saw something, and I saw something,
just
we have to get
what?
it. And they did a good job. I think it was Ben Wilhelm. He looked right back at me before I ever even saw it and said, "Hey, right now, check to
do it."
So I did, and then it opened right up. So they do a really good job of helping me out with that.
So do you make checks at the line? I mean, do you have a lot of control in the offense when you walk up to the line, or is it like if they, like you said, if they do this, you're doing that no matter what?
It's the only checks we will make are predetermined in a sense. So say we have something called, and then they come out in something that we know they were going to come out in, and we know the check to make. It's not a feel type thing. If we're going to make a check, it's gonna be practiced and known fully by the whole team. Before it ever happens.
A couple weeks ago, they lined up in something, and I could tell you knew like this play isn't gonna work, and you called a timeout there.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like just to be control? Like, just have the leadership on the offense and just know you're the guy.
Well, yeah, it's nice because, actually, I think on that play, we had a jersey issue.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't necessarily defense, but
man, I thought everyone's like, man, Gates knows what he's doing.
The ref had told me to get the players' jerseys down, and I looked to one of our backs, and they had their jersey up, and I knew it was just a matter of seconds for that ref threw the flag. So I wanted to get to the sideline as fast as we could. Yeah, so it's nice to have not the power, but it was the first half. And we still had all 3 of our timeouts left. So it wasn't a bad, it's nice to be able to do that.
I mean, and you being the senior quarterback, you can just tell Jared has a lot of confidence in you and kind of just talks to you about stuff. And I know he asked you a couple questions like, what do you think about this and that? Am I right? Does that happen a lot?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he'll ask me about it, and we'll talk about it. But, he's the brains behind everything, obviously. So I'm like, Coach, you tell me what to do, and we're going to do that because, I'm not a football genius like he is. Just go out there and try to run it to how he wants it to be done.
So, obviously, you have some weapons out there when you throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You got Mason and Trace, and really, Mason. If you throw a ball up to Mason, there's a good chance he goes up and gets it. What kind of confidence does that give you to throw the ball?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome because not everywhere do you have a 6'3" target that just jumps out of the gym.
Yep.
So if something's breaking down, I'm like, well, I know he's to this side. And
Mason's down there somewhere.
He's down there somewhere. Yeah, you see that in the pros a lot too. A quarterback knows where his receiver
Murray did
is.
With D-Hop
yep.
to win the game.
You know where their receiver is, and he says, well, he's down there somewhere, so let him make a play.
For sure. So, obviously, going back to it, you've been playing for all 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
This is Jared's first year. What's the difference of Coach Bailey and Jared? Like, what's it been like playing for both coaches?
Aside from the scheme and the age difference, obviously, Coach Bishore knows some of the same songs we do and knows some of the same lingo.
Yeah.
So
we'll
have fun with that, but really the work's the same. He expects the same out of us. So aside from the two things there's not a lot of difference. I mean, they're both great coaches, and I wouldn't rather have any other two coaches throughout my high school career.
So I don't know if you want to talk about this, but what's it like getting chewed out by Coach Bailey and chewed out from Bishore? Is it like, because I know really my freshman through junior year, if I got chewed out by Coach Bailey, like I'm trembling in fear. I mean, senior year was a little different.
Yeah.
But like you didn't have a senior year with.
So, I mean, obviously, yeah, again, freshman year, if I got chewed out by Coach Bailey, I was, trembling. But I'd be interested to see me with Coach Bishore my senior year and with Coach Bailey, because I don't know.
You've been there 4 years.
But, it's still
walking the park.
High respect for Coach Bishore, because it's not like a walk, again, like you said, it's not you're going for a walk in the park at practice, because very well if you mess up, you're going to get it. And I mean, we've all got it. I've got it. Everyone's got it.
Yeah.
So, and we don't want it. And
yeah.
we fear it in a sense.
Coming into this year, a lot of people were like, man, Coach Beshor's so young. They just went from Coach Bailey to Beshore. He obviously huge age gap. I mean, Coach Bailey coached him for one thing. And people were like, man, are they going to respect him knowing that he's not that far away from when he was playing for the Lamar Tigers? And sure enough, you guys do. I mean, just like you said. Like,
yeah, for sure. Again, it's never crossed my mind
that he played with your brother.
Yeah, he's my head coach, and, it's really a respect that, the whole team has. The whole team's picked up on it. And it's like, again, we just rally behind it.
Yep. So just, what's it like playing with, or being the third Tucker brother of your family and knowing that your other brothers have a total of 7 rings? And, I mean, you had one. It was your freshman year. So, I mean, yeah, you have a ring, but, like, and obviously not all of their rings were all of them. But, like, knowing that this is your chance to make a mark, and is there pressure knowing that you don't have, like, where you started and you don't have the ring like that?
Yeah, like you said, I have a ring and our class has a ring, but we were all freshmen and we didn't leave a huge mark on that team. So, it's really like Trip and JT will tell me stories about them and how they played in the state games and everything. And that's the really thing that we're chasing right now, is to be able to get to that point where we had a huge role in a state championship at Lamar, because that's really, if you come through Lamar, that's what you want to do. You want to go and play a part in the state championship. So, that's really what we're chasing right now.
Yeah, I mean, we got a championship ring my freshman and sophomore year, and it was one of the best feelings I've ever had.
Yeah.
And just knowing that if I would have like actually started on either side of the ball, I felt like that feeling might be doubled what it was. So, I mean, that's a really big deal. I mean, I don't have much more. Do you have anything that you'd like to say?
No, just thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
I really
no
enjoyed
problem.
it.
Thanks for coming on. Good luck to the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.